Oh, there's several. My biggest challenge probably is me. I think we're our own worst critics, and my personality flaw, but it is also I would say is what made me succeed is I'm incredibly stubborn, stubborn, pigheaded. That and some people will say that that's perseverance instead of being stubborn. And I would never fail. I've never failed at anything in my life, and there was no way I was going to fail at this. And I guess what a challenge that goes right along with that would be people telling you couldn't do it. So when you have the ability, the drive, the passion, and you know that you can, I would. I guess if I look back on it, I probably had all of that, but I would really describe it as being stubborn and pigheaded. It's like, okay, well, if you say I can't do it, you just watch me go because I'm gonna prove you wrong. So just ourselves, like, don't be we're often our own hurdle, so get over that and really have that introspection and really understand what your priorities are. Find that unique ability and certainly move on. Second one for me was being in a male dominated industry. Like when I first started, and it doesn't feel that long ago, when I walked into the office and I sat down at a table beside all my male counterparts, I was one of three females at that time. And one guy actually looked at me and said, Irene, you're in a male's world now, so act like a man. And that was so foreign to me. I was brought up in a European family where my parents are Portuguese. My dad never treated us like that. I'd never felt that way through any of my part-time jobs, through university. I'd never been faced with that kind of attitude before. I knew it existed, but I hadn't experienced it. So to have somebody actually say that to me and judge me because I'm a woman, and I was different from what they were, like that was mind-boggling. And the year later, I was at a training session, and sure enough, we were always taught to network, get out there, talk to people. And so I walked into a complete stranger's table with my lunch, and I was going to sit there in between training sessions. And the one I was going to say gentleman, but he was obviously not a gentleman because he just looked up at me and said, "Sorry, you can't sit here." And I said, "Well, oh," and I thought he was joking. I'm like, "Okay, well, why can't I sit here?" And he's like, "Because this is a man's table." Well, I started to laugh. I laughed and I sat down because I thought the guy was joking. And he's like, "No, I'm serious. Like, you can't sit here because it's a man's table." And like the rest of the table were all men, and they just sat there with their jaws like at the table. And I thought, oh well, and I didn't want to sit here anyways, and off I went to find something else to sit. But like those kind of attitudes, it's like, wow, like I couldn't believe the fact that somebody wouldn't even get to know me, like didn't know who I was or what I could offer. Like if I was incredibly annoying, I could understand why you wouldn't want me to sit at your table. But the fact that I was a woman and I couldn't sit there because it was a man's table, it's like, what? Complete foreign concept to me. So that's a big deal. That was one of the biggest challenges I had to get over. Being young, being young in a business of males who are typically older, gray hair, that whole thing, whole shebang. So that was a big challenge for me too. But knowing, being part of that one session where we talked about the unique ability, the youth, the energy, the enthusiasm, then that's what got me through that for sure. One big one I was going to say in our industry, but I think it's pretty much everywhere globally, is noise. Oh my gosh, we have so much access to information from so many channels, whether it's media, whether it's people, whether it's strangers, people's unbiased or unconscious biases. So we're in a world that, in my opinion, is absolutely incredible. Like the amount of opportunity that people have, the ability to be able to be who you want to be and really strive to be the best person you can be. I think that the world today is probably in the best place that we've ever been when it comes to that type of opportunity. However, coming with that and the tremendous amount of knowledge and information that we have access to, so whether it's the internet, whether it's the media, whether it's social media, to be able to consciously understand the right information and to sift through all that noise to get to what is truly important and the answer that you're looking for, that's a skill. And so the more that you can do that, the more that you can help educate people so that they understand what that true answer is, providing perspective. Like history is never a prediction of the future or a guarantee of what the future is going to look like, but at least we can get some perspective as to what is it. In my business, it'll be financial markets. So, okay, things are cyclical. Let's have a look back. Let's go back right till 1924. I can show you charts. I can show you when inflation was up, when interest rates were up. How does that affect the markets? How does that affect the economy? How does it affect you and your particular plan? And having that, I can't stress this enough, is that having a plan in place in everything, but I'll more point towards us would be that financial plan. Like, you need that roadmap, because if you don't know where you are and you don't know where you want to go, how can you measure that success? And so when you have all this noise that surrounds you constantly, then if you have that roadmap, you can go, oh, well, it doesn't really matter what happens tomorrow, because this is where I'm going to be in 3, 5, 10 years. And really, does it really matter if interest rates went up yesterday? Well, yeah, it kind of sucks today because it's a little bit painful, but is that going to be like that for the rest of my life, for the rest of my journey? Probably not. So I would encourage people to, yes, be conscious, understand what's happening, watch. I shouldn't say watch, but um, really, I very much enjoy reading all that stuff, but just don't get sucked in. I guess that's the best word to say it, is make sure that you understand what your opinion is, what you're truly looking for. And if you can't find the answers with all the noise that is happening out there, please seek out the right experts in that particular field to be able to help you provide with that perspective as well.